Hello everybody. Here's a short presentation I did for the Viewfinders Photo Club of Brussels on scanning black and white film negatives. If you develop your own negatives, then you don't need to wait for the lab, so you get the results much quicker. And for the scanning process, you have full control of the exposure used for scanning, because the lab will probably use a standard setting for all of your photos. But if you're scanning them yourself, you can easily change the exposure between each scan, each negative. Problem with the scanner itself is they can be very slow and tricky to configure, and modern digital cameras are pretty good these days. So you can often get a better scan, and it's much easier to control the settings as you're familiar with your camera. You can make your own scanner. Here's one I did a few years ago. A big ugly thing, but it worked. And I used a 90mm. I'm using a 90mm lens for the scanning. But you can, of course, buy one. And you have several on the market, which make the process very, very easy. You just screw the camera on, push the negatives through, and take the photos. It's a very simple and very quick process. For post-processing, some software will do this automatically for you, but if you have to do it the old-fashioned way, then like I am here in Lightroom, you first of all import your photos, and then with the tone graph here, completely reverse it, and then export the photos as a TIFF. You can delete the originals from Lightroom and then re-import the TIFFs. If you don't do this process and the software isn't automatically doing this reversal for you, then you would notice that all the controls in Lightroom are running in reverse. So when you increase exposure, it's actually reducing exposure and so forth, which can be a bit confusing, which is why I export it as a TIFF and then re-import them so that everything behaves normally. Then you can do any processing needed, and then just export the photo as a JPEG. I tend to delete the TIFFs from Lightroom when I'm done with them, as I've got the original negatives and it just saves up disk space. The final results when you do this can look pretty good. So I had no problems with that at all. There's a couple of products. I mean, there's many on the market, but you've got a simple one on the left or the more sophisticated Valio system, both of which I think are pretty effective. Makes the process very, very easy. Hope you found that helpful. Okay, and bye for now.